Hey guys, how's it going? It's Vadim here for a rare glasses off video. I felt that was appropriate for the subject matter. And yeah, this video is about Michael Brooks and his untimely passing. For those of you who do not know, I imagine most of you do, but just to sort of succinctly sum up who he was an incredibly hilarious, warm man. Now, I think examples of this sort of thing need context, and right here we have Mike watching Alex Jones watching an interview with a man who is suing his parents for kicking him out of his house.
I just want to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, people that have drug problems or people that are mentally ill or people that are criminals, you are not even on that scale.
Great. That's nice to hear.
Even the left that pushes dependency and paying for people's anchor babies and sex changes. I should not pay for somebody's sex change or their nose job.
Every single fucking bigotry first. Like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to hit transgender people, immigrants, anchor babies. Now I'm going to develop an emotional rapport with you.
So I think that's pretty funny on its own, but what is unique to me is that, again, this is a 30-year-old man suing his parents for getting kicked out of his house, being interviewed on Alex Jones. Most people would just dump on this guy, but Mike finds a way to make him empathetic.
It's in the WikiLeaks that they project all the race stuff because that's how we're designed. We see each other what color we are. Yeah. You're dying. You're dying. You're dying.
Personally, I think that the racism is more important than the 5G thing because I mean, if we die sooner from cancer, does it matter if we died sooner? Does it matter that we led good lives?
Pause it. Nailed it. Did you hear that? It matters that we led good lives, so the racism matters.
Yeah.
Look, for a fucking 30-year-old who refuses to leave his parents' home, sweet nature, he has good politics.
For guys like this, you should honestly give them an award for not being alt-right.
Exactly.
You should give them like
exactly.
I would, you know, there should be a government agency that like gives these guys jobs.
Obama takes him on the Wakanda theme park that opens up at Disney or something. Like, come on, young man, let's go see Wakanda together. Way to not become a Nazi.
Yeah, it's like, you know.
I think that's hilarious, but you know what? I said that I was going to succinctly sum up who he was. I didn't even mention, yes, he was a political commentator on things like The Majority Report, which I love, The Michael Brooks Show, many other things. And just all of a sudden like that, he's gone. He had this medical complication that was totally unforeseen, and
all of this sucks. It all sucks. And the question is, like, how do you get to a place of less suckiness?
Sam's right. Every bit of it sucks. I guess I should say that wasn't actually Sam talking about Michael's passing there. But yeah, it takes the idea that 2020 is the worst year ever and just kicks it straight into the stratosphere. And I don't want to put on airs like I knew him that well. I guess you could say that I had a little bit of a parasocial relationship with the guy. I did exchange some DMs with him. He was supposed to do a Creationist Cat video. I'm kicking myself a little bit that didn't happen, but his passing, I say this in the clip that I'm going to show at the end of this, but I kick myself a little bit for not making that happen sooner now. But as I say in the video, just the fact that didn't happen pales so much in comparison to the fact that he's no longer with us. And CC interviewed Sam Cedar, who is also a great guy.
Sam Cedar, your final question is... Come on, seriously, what the fuck is this? What is he doing? What is the ears? That is so weird.
Well, no, he's putting his earplugs back in.
Earplugs? What? No, come on.
Yeah, headsets.
Headsets? What are you talking about? He's acting like a freaking chimpanzee right there.
Putting his headset back in. His earphones.
Earphones? Well, he's yawning like a caveman and then... okay. I guess maybe he is putting on some headphones. Still weird, though.
Well, that's true.
And we talked a little bit about Mike, and I asked if he had a comedy background, because I just assumed he did. He's so fucking funny.
Oh, he's got a phone.
Now let me show you.
Yeah, show us this phone. This old...
is Samsung makes it. I visited that company in Korea.
Yeah.
Samsung
And it's ringing right now.
It is. Oh, shit. Hello? Hey, Cannon, where are you?
Oh, that's so awesome! That's so fucking awesome! He just
couldn't happen.
You know what? I mean, look, to be fair, he's literally explain. You know, he said, like, there used to be, I guess this dumb kid is asking me about the Republicans again. Okay, you know, there used to be Republicans that were moderate. There was Jacob Javits. I don't know, this fucking moron kid who thinks I'm his mentor. Hello, son. Would you like to have a random conversation on my Samsung flip phone? I actually visited the facility in 1997.
So funny all the time. I couldn't believe one time I was watching the show and he was like talking about some subject and I was like, oh, this guy, he has information too to back up. You know what I mean? Because he's so funny that it's hard to, you kind of forget how passionate he was and how informed he was about things, you know? So
yeah, I mean, it's rare that you meet a, you know, and I think, you know, you know, he was not doing comedy before he came on the show. I mean, I think he, you know, sort of dabbled at different times, may have like, I think in college may have written some sketches or something, but
I'm amazed by that.
Right?
Just amazed by it because I always thought of him as like, I just thought of him as like a natural stand-up.
He just had a mastery of policy and the goings on inside of obscure countries politically that I haven't seen. It's unparalleled.
There is no democracy. There is no functioning citizenship. There is no basic humanity while there is hunger. Let's look at how Lula achieved, and he did, of course, until the coup of Dilma Rousseff and the reversals. But he took, when he was president, Brazil out of hunger through the Zero Hunger program. It was launched in 2003. It was massively successful in its operation in around 40% of Brazilian communities. Childhood growth stunting was cut in half from 1996 to 2007. It was a comprehensive program.
No, I'm not going to play that whole clip, but it's just really amazing, all of the facts that he has right at his fingertips. And also what drives it is just this very confident intention and benevolent worldview that he had. And it's just really inspiring.
This problem is still with us. It's relentless. It's relentless in the United States. It's relentless in the developing world. And of course, it increases everywhere, east, west, north, south, in the main, with the conditions of global pandemic and economic depression. But this is a choice. This is a choice that can be addressed through humane, compassionate, human-centered global policy. Let's do it. Let's demand a zero hunger pledge and a policy in action on all forms of basic poverty in the United States and internationally.
I guess I'm just going to go ahead and play the Majority Report clip right now.
Calling from a 917 area code. Who's this?
Hi, is this me?
It is you.
Okay. First of all, I feel very fortunate to get through. Sam, this is Vadim from temporarily Florida. I'm a creationist cat guy.
Hey Vadim, how are you?
I'm well, like you guys. I'm really broken up, and I just wanted to call and relate my experiences with him because you guys, I was fortunate enough. For those who don't know, I only bring this up because it's pertinent to what I'm about to say. I run a moderately successful YouTube channel, and you guys were awesome enough to play a video that Creationist Cat did with David Rubin and Marianne Williamson. And there are these sort of superficial benchmarks that people kind of deem as success on YouTube or other types of content creation, like things like getting a certain number of subs or certain number of views. But for me, over the years, really the most special moments, the most rewarding moments have always been when people that I truly admire, that I know that they find my work and I find out that they really appreciate it. And both you and Michael, to me, are not just really astute political commentators. You're also, or gosh, I hate saying this, we're an amazing comedy duo. And last night, I rewatched you guys watching that video several times just to hear his laugh, his infectious laugh, and knowing that I made that man cackle rather hard was just such an amazingly gratifying thing. I mean, honestly, things like that are the most special things of doing it is that I do. And also, I'll mention this, there was a debate. I don't know if you even remember it. There was a debate of the nominees, and you guys were doing CC impressions. So I'm also incredibly honored that even if it's for like 5 seconds, that Creationist Cat is among his roster of incredible impressions. And yeah, I don't know how much else I have to say that others haven't said. He totally broadened my perspective on a whole number of issues. And I guess the last thing I'll say is that he was supposed to be in a CC video. I'm a relative nobody compared to a lot of people. And I just know it's not just me. I know so many content creators. We were all DMing on Twitter last night and kind of talking about how heartbroken we were. And there's so many people that he would just be so giving with and would help out and really just wanted to see lefty content creators succeed. And even though that I never spoke with him, he just, even in just DMs and emails alone, he just came across like such a warm person, and he was so down to do CC. He was so interested in it, and I'm honored by that. And my heart goes out to you guys, just big time. I know it's much harder for you, and what I am kicking myself that we didn't get to do that thing, but at the same time, his loss just pales in comparison to what we didn't get to do. But yeah, just thanks so much for taking my call. I feel really honored and fortunate that you gave me some time to speak about him. And
appreciate the call, man.
I guess
you really did
I'm gonna go.
find your work funny. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Bye.
I do remember when we fell into the impersonating the Creationist Cat.
So I had a lot of people on Twitter and comments on YouTube and DMs and stuff like that asking me to make. Would you stop rustling that bag? It's very rude. Asking me to make a video. Okay. Asking me to make a video about this, and a lot of people said, "Hey, can you make it funny? Can you do that?" And I'm just really sorry. If this has been funny at all, it's been completely because of pre-recorded material that we had, and of course because Michael Brooks is hilarious. If you guys want to see something in that vein, well, the closest thing I can recommend is the Surfs did an outstanding video with several friends of Michael's. I'm gonna link that down below. Now, I totally don't mind you guys asking, but you gotta understand, this was me trying to do this part of the video earlier today. Could you make a funny video? Because this is a really tragic situation and I'd love to laugh about it, and I can't do it. I can't. I'm not good enough to do it. At least I'm a fucking fly, man. I mean, like, that's tough. That's really tough. So yeah, that's totally not gonna happen. I hope you guys are cool with it. And I still have a couple more things to say. I wanted to mention that thanks to Michael Brooks and also Sam and I guess others on the Majority Report, but really Michael especially, he has broadened certain topics that I have been interested in. For instance, Sam Harris, he's this guy who I was into the Four Horsemen for a little bit when I first kind of discovered atheism or like popular atheism. And I kind of very quickly started thinking he was a douche, and I couldn't always put my finger on exactly why his arguments were so poor. And here's just one example of Michael illuminating this perfectly.
His model of religion, which is basically just a literalist text reading, is a really unsophisticated one. So if you're trying to figure out what's happening in the Middle East, and your main metric is the Quran and the Hadith, you are going to have a profoundly limited, delusional, and wrong-headed perspective by definition. You are not going to be taking in all of the variables you need to take in to actually have a fully integrated understanding of this. Now, as an example, you want to talk about the Qatari government. Why does Qatar, allow funding for groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda to move through Qatar, at the same time host a U.S. military base, have relatively nice backdoor relations with Israel, and sort of pivot against Saudi Arabia, even though they're another sort of Sunni Gulf state? It's really simple. It's because Qatar is a small island nation with an enormous amount of wealth that's playing a sort of multi-pivoted game to keep themselves insulated and protected from their immediate neighbors, and they're trying to strike alliances and calculate geopolitically as best they can. The reality is there's still sweeping, broad claims about the nature of Islam and Muslim politics, which doesn't take into account these broader regional, strategic, and geographic questions, which are really the core drivers.
That goes on for a while, and all these videos are linked down below. Every minute of that video is excellent. I think it was 2014, and it's still such a vital video. It's such a great critique of Sam Harris to this day that I think a lot of people should check out. Anyhow, we're still left with this age-old question.
How do you get to a place of less suckiness?
And I don't have a great answer for that, but I think that probably the best way to start would be to just ponder a lot of his core principles and the reasons why he did what he did.
So I think the soul of the Democratic Party is in some respects what we choose it to be. Is it Bill Clinton? Or is it, Fannie Lou Hamer? Right? These are both parts of the soul of the political party in this country that is the potential vehicle of labor, of the left, of justice, of love, of dignity, and so on. So I choose to have a certain vision of the Democratic Party because I want to make that enacted and real in the world. So I think we have to, and that is why it's important. For all of the flaws and all of the complexities, we need to own the FDR traditions to the ways in which it was liberatory. We need to connect it, obviously, with people like Debs or Lincoln who weren't Democrats, and I think we need to globalize it. I think I just came back from interviewing President Lula in Brazil. That's the soul of the Democratic Party that I want. And so I think that's what we're trying to do. I think we're trying to, this fight is not only material, it's ideological, and it's for a certain ethic. And on the left, we're not necessarily comfortable with talking like that, but you put it in the question. So there it is.